It was an interesting moment for me at the time because I really wasn't seeking someone or anyone, I should say. I just hoped if I did meet someone that they would be a positive person to meet. Everything he was saying and doing was making me fall in love with him.
A lot of people quit going, that's just how it got to be. But she keeps on fighting and it takes a lot of guts. No justice, no peace!
You two are like two immature cartoon characters.
Objection. Where's any of this evidence of this?
Order.
I'm sanctioning you for $15,000.
I have a right to see my son.
This is all about a child. A poor boy born into a battle.
This is not justice!
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
No peace! No justice!
You're trying to have a judge removed.
I'll sanction her for thousands of dollars for coming to court.
How much money is Mr. K-Man, Mr. Gee paying you and your fellow judges to keep this woman away from her child?
Said I'm gonna survive, I gotta survive. Even with your lies, I'm gonna survive, gotta survive. Said I'm gonna survive, I gotta survive. Even with your lies, I've gotta survive, gonna survive. Said I'm gonna survive, I'm gonna survive. Even with your lies.
This is the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show. Dr. Meleeka Clary is a clinical psychologist, actress, director, model, and human rights activist. On this program, Dr. Meleeka guides you toward a more fulfilling life through the power of positive psychology. And now, please welcome your host, Dr. Meleeka Clary.
Welcome to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show, powered by Sweet Recordings. We're coming live. I'm sorry, people. I was having little computer issues. I decided to clean my screen, and I don't know what happened from there. These computers is just finicky. So that's what happened, people. So sorry for the delay, but here I am. God got me up. Thank you, Jesus, for getting me up this morning. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. To be able to do this show, I have to be happy of that. You know, it's been a rocky time. I have amazing guests today. I'm not going to hold too much of your time. But I would have to say several things have happened and how people deal with grief and how they deal with, just, missing and losing loved ones and tragedy. It's not easy. Every day I battle with something or I'm hearing about something from someone else and helping them get through it. But I've always said this to you. I am a human being first. And I go through things as well. So I'm not skipping out of none of the tragedies or grief or anything that we go through in life. And I have to stress this so many times that it's not easy when you go through things like this, especially losing a loved one. It's not easy. And then you watching a loved one struggle every day to be here and to go through these changes in life, like aging. Like right now, my mom's back in the hospital. This just happened yesterday. But hopefully we can get things together and she'll get out maybe tomorrow or the next day. But that's part of it, right? It's an up and down battle. And I don't think I mentioned this last time. And these are the things that I have to stress this and say this because it's heavy on the heart, heavy on the family. With the losing of my sister, my oldest sister, 1 month later, we lost her daughter. During birth, she ended up having a baby and she ended up not making it after delivery and left 3 children behind. So that was very close to her. So a month between, we have the mother, the daughter, and the grandma up and down with sicknesses. And I don't blame God. I don't know the plan. That's why I have to. This is my advice to you. I don't know the plan. I don't know what's going on. I just know I have to deal with it. When the storm is hitting, I deal with it. And prayer is got me through. I'm not mad. There's times I'm disappointed because I don't know why I got to go through this. Yes, and sometimes you might feel that way, like God, why are you doing this? Why is this happening? Why is this? I'm asking the same things at times, but I'm choosing to understand. I don't need to know. Just go through it and give me the strength to go through it because it's not easy. If you choose, or we're not even, I can't say you choose because we don't own our life. But if you want and have a desire and you pray for living long, you're going to see some people leave. And that's something I have to say. You're going to see some people leave. I don't know what the process is. I just know that I'm going through it and I know the people are. And here's my little advice to you: stay in it. Prayer, don't stay too far in the woulda, shoulda, or what's really going on, or the grief, because it can get you real low. So try to stay positive and get through it. But prayer, or devote something good, meditation, because you it's no easy way to say you're going to get through it. It's just that these are the things that I've been doing and trying to stay close to the family that is here, or people, and mentally, and that's what you have to do. And that's my advice to you, because we are living as human beings in this world, and life is life in people, and it has been lifing. With that being said, you already know how to find me. You and what's going on with the technical issue, all the things. So with that, I'm going to take a brief commercial, and I'm going to come back with my amazing guests. So do not go nowhere, fam. We'll be right back with the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show, powered by Sweet Recordings. Don't go nowhere, fam. We'll be right
Even in young individuals, older, communication, active listening, it helps. Because if a person is telling you something, try to listen to something they're saying. I have to say, when you touched about suicide too, people say, oh, well, that's the first time I heard or didn't know. Or are we not communicating? Are we not talking?
Right.
Because how are
Right.
you not knowing what's going through in this individual's mind? Are we not asking another person? How can you be a wife or a husband and you're in the same home and not knowing what your wife or husband's going through? And then all of a sudden this person commits suicide. I think we need to change that. Where's the communication? Where is not seeking therapy? Is it our pride? Are we ashamed if we're having these thoughts? Because that's where the mental illness is developing even more, because people are not
Right.
sharing or caring enough, or it's a phase, because that's what I'm seeing, and that's across the board. It doesn't matter who
Absolutely.
you are. You could be a celebrity, you could be a lawyer, you could be a doctor, you could be a server. It doesn't matter, but you're human. So to me,
back.
we need to
July
start
2nd.
changing the
Okay,
communication
I can't
process.
see.
We need to talk.
Welcome back to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show. Welcome back, people. Bear with me because I might freeze here and there. I don't know. Sometimes I'm having these issues with the technical issues. I'm not sure what's going on, but we'll figure it out. You know what? I have an amazing, beautiful, and talented guest. One thing that she does is fashion. She I love. So meeting this woman was just an inspiration. Not the fact that she's in, designing, but she knows the bread and butter about it. You know what I mean? So that industry I love, and her purpose, and not just that, she wants to educate people. She has books and seasons. I mean, serials. I mean, not serials, scenarios, but other ways like series. That's what was trying to say. Sorry, I can't talk today. Series of how to start up and do your own designing and marketing and all this good stuff. And I want to really get into it. So, but I really need to know about her too, but not that she's an amazing person when it comes to designing and fashion. I just love that stuff. So, and I know she knows so much about it. But as you know, the Dr. Meleeka Clary show, it's about identity, identifying that person first. Because now all the things that she does is great. It is great, but I want to know about her. So why don't you come in while I introduce my beautiful guest, Frances Harding.
I'm in.
Did I freeze? Oh, you're in. I
Am
just
I
don't
in?
see you
Okay.
on my end. And that's probably, oh, yeah, you are. And there you go. I thought it was me. How you doing, dear?
I'm okay, thanks. It looks like you've got similar issues that I've got going on this morning, so we're all going through it.
Okay. You know what? I don't. Yeah, I think so. I don't know if it's you or me or what, or maybe today is just one of those days that we are just doing this computer stuff. It's a lagging here, lagging there, but we're gonna get through it. That's all I could tell you. All right, good. You're there. I see you when you move. I'm like, yeah, she's here. Let me ask you. I know that you know about designing and everything. One thing about my show is I care about people and I want to know about the person. So let me ask you, who do you identify yourself as to you? Besides, I know you're a designer and you do it well in that industry. Who do you identify yourself to you?
I don't never really thought about that. I think that my journey is my journey, and I can't really identify. I've never really thought, oh, I need to be like them. Just journey, as I was teaching to a lot of and consulting with a lot of people, is it's about networking and how, like we met, and then where does it go, and then another door's open. And this has been my journey as far as doors opening through things that happen to me, then another door will open. Okay, most of the time it's good, but sometimes, like, with our issues with IT, things go wrong. So, it's just one of those things. You just have to keep on moving. And, my church is a walk in the morning and getting fresh air and cleaning my head before I start the day. And I'm thrilled to have experienced so many great things in my life. So, I mean, I started
Thank you for
out
sharing that. And
with dyslexia. Yeah, dyslexia. When I was a child, you were just considered to be not so smart. So I was lucky.
Oh, wow. You know what? Actually goes into my next. Well, actually, I'll just ask that. Um, have you ever had a challenge in your life and before you, because I know you, when you said dyslexia, that might be a challenge that you might mention that you've had. And before you answer that question, I would like to ask you, I mentioned prayer, I mentioned religion, basically. My platform is open to all types of religions. And I have to ask this question. When you are going through something, is there like a religion mechanism that you follow? Because there's many people right now watching my show and they're thinking, what do you do to keep okay or maintain this thing called life? And is this something that you believe in or spirituality? What is your preference?
Well, I feel like all religion is one God, right? And so I may not go into a church, but my God is with me when I'm walking. And yeah, there are challenges, and I've gone through many. I'm actually going through one now. My husband's declined. I'm taking care of him. When I had a child who was sick with juvenile diabetes, and there's been a lot of challenges. So we just have to take it step by step. Otherwise, it can be overwhelming. I used to do a lot of sports, and I still try to keep active. You win some, you lose some. So you're driving home from downtown working and you say, okay, maybe I lost today or maybe I won. You never know. And it's just a matter of what can help you, what can't help you. Because as you know, it's very, you just have to take it step by step. There are things that can really overwhelm you. And so you just have to take a deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
Which you need to do it through that.
That's right. I love that you said that. Thank you so much for sharing that because that's what we have to remember. When we're in the midst of the storm, we have to remember, take a deep breath, let it out. Because I'm going to tell you something, it is not easy. And being a clinical psychologist of the field of psychology, you're a human first. And things just hit you, and you're just like, I don't think I have any more to give. And sometimes God gives you that strength that is like, okay, boom, you can do it. You can do it. I'm not gonna put as much, you can't do it, you can do it. And that's how I feel. So, and that's the thing. So thank you for sharing that. So, you know what? So one thing what I'm gonna do right now is that I'm gonna go to this next challenge, well, next question, but I'm going to take a brief commercial before we get to that next question. Don't go nowhere, fam. We are still with the amazing and beautiful Frances, the fashion guy. I just love fashion, my dear. I love that you. I just love it. I just love it. I just love it. Anyway, we'll be right back with the Dr. Meleeka Clary show. Don't go nowhere, fam. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about what you do as a clinical psychologist.
Well, I see clients regarding depression, bipolar, personality disorders, because we know we have many out there. So I help people deal with that and their families and everything like that.
And of course, mental health right now at the forefront, so important as people really start to kind of work on. I feel like we're gaining ground to understand that it is something that we can talk about, that we can seek help for.
Yes, it's been important. I think a lot of people didn't realize how important it is since the pandemic, but it's been important, just like physical, your medical condition. So yes, I've always thought it was, but I'm glad that we're getting help. And people are identifying it, because that's what's important. Many people wasn't identifying mental health issues. They just thought, oh, maybe you're having a bad day. No, that's labeled depression. If you're constantly having that bad day, every day you're waking up with that feeling, you need to seek help. You need to talk about it.
Welcome back to the Dr. Meleeka Clary show, where we're coming live. We are still with the amazing Frances Harding. Come on in here, my dear. Hi. Before we went on commercial, I wanted to ask you, have there ever been a challenge that you went through that you was like, I don't know how I'm going to get through? Now, don't get me wrong. I know we have a lot of challenges because we could write a whole story of that, right? But just give me one challenge that you realized that it was really difficult and I don't really know how I got through it, but I did.
I would think, being a child with dyslexia and not knowing at that time that that's what you had. My sister was very clever. She got, lots of schooling, and I was really in what we call a secondary modern school in England. And but what happened is, you'll find this amusing, but at that time I had a picture of Pat Boone on my desk, and one day I came in and the big bully in the class had put it on her desk. And so I said, that belongs to me. And she said, oh yeah, what are you going to do about it? She said, for 2 pins, I'd beat your ass, right? This is an old girls' school, right? So anyway, there's me, I'm 5'2.5", and she was like 5'8". Anyway, I had been doing judo classes, which she didn't know about it. But anyway, the next day, I put 2 pins on her desk, and she said, right, I'll see you in the playground. So here we go in the playground, and she brings a little cohort. Anyway, and unbeknown to me, the teacher's lounge is above, looking out down on the playground, and they didn't interfere with fights then. Anyway, the fight started, and it was a matter of push. Anyway, managed to beat the shit out of her. And then when I was we were going into the school, and the teachers were lined up, and the sports teacher said, "You're going to be the games captain," and I was. And the art teacher said, "I'm going to get you into art college," and she did. And the English teacher said, "I know you write a little funny, but I know you like Charles Dickens. I'll take you to see some Charles Dickens plays." I'm not kidding. This changed my life. So suddenly, all that, standing up for yourself made that difference.
Wow.
The funny irony, if you fast forward 50 years or more, invited to who's at that time, excuse me, but you wouldn't believe that, you go there and you'd actually meet this person that you were fixated on, Pat Boone, and he was the MC.
Yeah.
I told him.
Oh, wow. That is amazing. That is amazing. Wow. Well, you stood up for yourself and hey.
I'm one of those people that take the bull. A few of those examples, but yeah. As my students used to say, don't F with F,
Well, there you go. Well, thank you for sharing that. Wow, that's really amazing. Delexia, I've met some interesting people, and they have that. Would you classify it as a learning disability, right? Because I
Yeah,
don't know. I've been out of the loop at different names. We want to change names, so and you wouldn't believe some people have different gifts. It was like totally different. Like I remember interviewing one woman on here, and she has the same learning disability, but she's able to sing and do all types of things that I was like, wow. I mean, it's amazing gifts. And you, of all, you're like a designer, and all this is like, wow. I say God works in so mysterious ways when you think one thing is less, but then you're gifted in other things that heightens up that ability to do whatever. And I love that. So, yeah, thank you for sharing that because it's amazing. And I know there's other people that struggle with the same learning disability and they are gifted in different ways too. And it's something that, yes, I love it.
this is,
I love it.
thank God for spell check. I wrote my whole books, through being able to have spell check and an editor. So, yeah, it's a disability, I suppose, but you tend to see things backwards and very
That's
hard to
right.
remember names and numbers and things like that. But, I can deal with it. It's good. So,
Well, thank you. Thank you
yeah.
for sharing that. Really, thank you so much. Let me ask you, my platform's all about positive psychology and things that we do. And there's always somebody out there trying to figure out, you're not like me. I'm not like you. But what do you do for self-care? Because that's the difficult thing. We all want to provide self-care for ourselves. We want to do things that bring us up and bring our mind healthy. What is that to you? What do you do for self-care for yourself?
Well, like I said, I walk in the morning and I tend to go to the gym 2 or 3 times a week. Um, so I find going out and meeting people is and
Sorry
mixing with,
about that.
yeah, going out and mixing with people and having, just conversations with people. I'm always interested in what they're all doing. And so, socially, we joined the boat club here. So we go there and see different things. So having a husband who's unfortunately declined to this,
Yeah. Yeah.
socially being with people I want to be with is really
Yes.
primary.
And that's very healthy, especially when you're now every time you mention about your husband, now he's been diagnosed. Is that what that was? You said, or he, okay. So you're dealing with the disease right now.
Yeah, pretty normal.
And that is, I mentioned this earlier, watching a loved one decline is very challenging.
Your mom's in
And
hospital.
yeah. Hmm.
Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, it is difficult, and I have to say, I mean, there's no real words for it when you're in the midst of the storm. You just try to wake up and you ask God to give me the strength to deal with whatever I got to deal with today.
Yeah.
And that's all I can tell you, because your loved one is going through it and you're trying to be there. But here's the key thing too. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of no one else and you can't be there. So utilizing the social aspect of being around others is really therapy.
Oh yeah, it is for sure. Definitely. Yeah.
It really is needed. Even if you have to be on the phone sometime, you steal that time to fill up the cup. Because there is times that I know the cup is low. And I've been there. And I'm still in the midst of the storm of things. But
Mm-hmm.
stealing sometimes it's almost like you have to steal not to feel guilty that you're stealing time. That's a key thing too. Don't
Right.
feel guilty because you have a life too and you need to take it. You got to take that time because one thing I've noticed, and I have to say this, because if you are catering to someone and it feels like it's draining, but you love that's your loved one, of course you're going to do it. Unconditional love people. I get it. But you can't stay in that frame because
No.
you don't want regrets.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's something you don't want regrets because when time is ticking, it's ticking for them, but it's ticking for you too.
You're so
And
right.
that's something.
It's
That's
true. You're
yeah,
absolutely right. And I find funny thing is what you've just said to me, doctor. I was on the walk and I see this dentist. She's brilliant dentist, and she's talking to me and she said just what you said. She said you've got to spend time for yourself. So that was I'm trying to, and I do, as I say, still have
yeah,
work to do, which I like, and yeah, I try to, as you say, also you have also got to do something sometimes where you're not doing anything, just
right.
relax and read or watch
That's
a
right.
silly program. Try not to watch the news, as my kids say to me.
Oh, I turn it off. I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to feel that way. I understand this is not a perfect world.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Mm.
I mean, believe me, it's informative for many. And don't get me wrong, I love the news, but people give me the news if they feel like she don't watch the news. Let me tell her, don't go out today. You know what I mean? So I get it. I get it. It has benefits, but it's just so depressing when you're going through the midst of the storm of so many other things, and when it's out of your power. I
Right.
mean, that's what it is. It's just like, okay, that's not another thing I want to listen to of all this,
Mm.
sadness. And that's what it is right now, just sadness. And so instead of me enjoying the fact, oh, it's going to be a nice day tomorrow. Okay, nice weather. I get excited. You hear something else. So, I'm
Mm.
that's not in that mood. So yeah, you kind of distract yourself with positive things that will make you feel upbeat, ready to play. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to. So and I didn't want to go hard on it, but I'm going through things. You're going through things. We all go through things, and that's why I say psychology is about coming together and therapeutic, explaining those things. You don't hold it in because that's when you bust, you can explode. And that's not what this is all about, people. Sharing is caring, and I want people to understand that. That's why I bring people on my platform is to let you know there's no perfect person here. I ain't met one. So
Mm-mm.
just let you know.
That's
We're
true.
going through it. Share
Yeah.
how you get through it, and that's the way it goes. Let me ask you, what made you go into designing and the fashion world? Because I love it. I mean, and then educate individuals because you have a series out there and you're helping people how to start it up and to complete. So what made you go into that?
Well, sort of by accident again. And my mother was a designer for her brother in Nottingham. And so when I went to art college, I really wanted to do graphic design. And she said, no, do fashion because then you can always sew for your kids, right? So I ended up doing fashion. And then interning, which I always say to students, you need to intern because doors will immediately open, hopefully, if you're doing well. So my first job offer came through when I graduated, although I got a scholarship to go to London to the Royal College, and because they said they couldn't afford it. So I started working at this company I was interning for. And luckily, the college I graduated from asked me to teach 1 day a week. And this was, the actual job, the business owner, he said he was a mentor. And this is how I feel like mentoring is that's what you're doing, is helping other people and opening up doors. And he said, no, you need to do that. So, he allowed me to work 4 days a week designing, and then I was teaching. So I started a double career of both teaching and being in the fashion industry. So I've been very fortunate, of course, it's not every day, but, ending up, did I ever think I would end up in California for people like Priscilla Presley or, the Sultan of Brunei, or having my name under license in Japan? All these amazing opportunities came my way, and different doors have opened through that. And it's been, and then working for the United Nations, helping third world countries, women enter the American market with their products. Peru, and they were doing alpaca and working with them. They were doing a lot of natural dyes. And then from there, I was invited to go to Nepal, work with the cashmere producers and help them develop the product for the American market. And that was interesting, although that was a trial, not my favorite. So I sent my final report into Switzerland, and I said, I'm sending it in a Word document in case you want to change it, because, I said 54 Zoom meetings, 8 o'clock in the morning, and they didn't turn up for 24. I mean, this is just the height of unprofessional and rudeness. And, and I talked to a lot of people about it and about what their experiences is, and it's been similar. So, I said, working with Americans, and I think it's the same in England or Europe, is doing what you say you're going to do. Don't BS. Just say, and things go wrong. You've got to let people know. Words are going to be late. Things are happening. So don't try and hide it. Because we need to know that information, because we're running a store or we're waiting for the orders to go out, and sometimes they'll ship you stuff that you haven't ordered, all these things. So it's it's a learning experience. Working internationally with different countries has been, I would say, an amazing experience. Yeah. Japanese were fabulous.
Wow. It's amazing to work with so many people and to learn all of this fashion. And I know a little bit about the fashion industry. I'm an amateur, I ain't gonna do for it, but I make clothes for myself, and I've done it for my children too. And I think I made the outfit. Did I make outfit for anybody else besides my kids? See, I'm selective. I think for a movie premiere, I made all my children's clothes, except for my son. I haven't dazzled with the suits. One of my girlfriends, she is a fashion designer. That I will say that she actually, went in graphics and all that stuff. She does all that. She made his suit. Because I didn't dabble with the guy stuff yet. I'm loving the dresses and all that. But yeah, I love that fashion. I mean, fashion is so creative. So I commend you for that, because it's beautiful. You can, put a fabric together and create it to be something amazing. So that's a wonderful thing.
These days, clothing is, these days, the whole industry is upside down, because there's no real trends. We're all wearing whatever we want, right? So that, you're not dictated to with big shoulders or mini skirt, or you can wear what you want, So I don't know if you've got grandchildren, but I have a grandchild. Comes in with jeans with big holes in them, I said to her, oh, Etta, I'm so sorry, I could mend those. I didn't realize you had holes in your jeans. She's like, Grandma, just like, don't you realize
That's funny because I love me some holes in the jeans. I be making them.
And then,
Terrible.
and then the other thing they're wearing
I
is
do.
they're wearing these like pajama bottoms, you know, like the big baggy pants, and a lot of them
Oh
are
yeah,
like
yeah.
pajama bottoms, and that drives me nuts when it's a plaid and it doesn't match on the side seams, and I'm like, oh, throw that out. Don't buy anything plaid or a stripe that doesn't match on the side.
You know what's so interesting? That is so interesting you say that. Do you think fashion had a turn? Like, you know how things had back in the days, but just came back in a different way?
Oh yeah, I think there's a definite kind of remodeling or restyling different styles that was, kind of, well, we're seeing it is now with people wearing hot pants and short skirts, in the 70s and 80s. So
yeah,
I said, you can wear whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You're merchandising and you're telling a story about who you are, what kind of clothing you like. I mean, you're looking very,
right.
very nice.
I love that you said that. That's wonderful.
It's your identity.
Thank you.
Yeah, you look good.
I love that you say that. Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I do like fashion. That's one thing I do love. I like putting something together. But see, I like hair. I like doing hair. I like doing these are things I never went to school for. If I was to dress somebody, I had no money, but maybe a little like $2, $3 to get some fabric and do somebody's hair, I can make them look like $1 million. Only because that's the gift. The hands and the look of just putting something together, that's a gift that I have received. And God gave me that. And I'm so grateful for that because I can see that look. You know what I mean? And so I love what you're saying and what you're doing. How do people find you? How do they support what you're doing? Like you have a series out there. You're educating individuals about the fashion industry. How do they support? Like, what's your website? What's your Instagrams or social medias or Google? Whatever. I need it. Please state it.
Well, my website is fashionforprofit.com, which is fashion for FOR profit.com. Instagram, you'll find me there, and most of the other places as well. So LinkedIn, Instagram. But I'm, good technically. So there are some things I'm really bad at, which is definitely, I need help with websites and technical stuff. And that's, and then all these scam things going on. It's a full-time job, making sure you're not getting
I think we lost a little connection. I'm not sure if I can hear you, but maybe you're come back.
Can you hear me now?
Are you there? Okay.
Can you hear me? No? How weird.
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you now. I think it was lost for a minute. Okay.
Yeah. So maybe your internet's a little weird at the moment.
It's a delay. That's what it is. Yeah.
It's delayed. Okay. Yeah. So it's, as we know, it's a journey and meet many, many people, and some of them are not as good as others. And you're a clinical psychologist. I mean, my daughter was 7 when she got juvenile diabetes. And how do you react to stressful information? Like we're telling you about my school thing. But so I'd never even heard of type 1 diabetes. So I had to educate myself. What I did was I started a support group. But at that time, she had to at nighttime, I had to get up and test every 2 hours. So since that, so I've got this whole, I've tried Ambien and all that stuff, but so it's now CBD and melatonin and whatever you take. Yeah, so I tend to wake up still every 2 hours. It's bizarre after all these years.
Wow. Well, have you ever tried like more exercise, like walking and wearing yourself out more so, like long walks and doing stuff like that? I noticed or dancing or dance class.
I do long walks and I go to the gym to do yeah, I'm very, very active. It's not necessarily that. It's just your mind has to be reset. I've tried hypnosis too, but it didn't really work. So
No, I understand that. Sometimes I feel like our mind drifts off because we're still got things on our mind. But if you wear your mind out, you may be able to wear it down.
well,
And sometimes,
I tend to be busy all the time, whether it's working out or working here.
yeah.
And yeah, it's not like I'm, laying around all day. So I'm
Mhm.
very, very
Yeah.
much involved. Yeah, a lot of stuff. So like you.
Hmm. And it's hard to be concentrating on something too. Meditation. Do you take naps during the day?
I sometimes, if I can, I'll take a half an hour. That's it. Yeah, I don't really nap too much, but I tend to read or just take a 10-minute nap or whatever. But I can't do it every day.
Well, I asked that question because yes, I asked that question because if people take naps during the day, sometimes it's a struggle to go to sleep at night too. Depends when you're taking naps. And if you try not to take some naps, maybe your body will catch up. These are just some things. I don't know all of everything about it. I'm just saying some little suggestions. I have had other people who had insomnia, and we dug in why that is happening. I wouldn't be able to dissect that at this moment. I'm just giving a little bit of feedback of some suggestions that
Yeah.
maybe if you're a napping person, maybe not take a nap and just stretch it out, and maybe you're be exhausted by the time you go to sleep.
This is not every day anyway. I mean, I'm away when I go to different trade shows and stuff like that, or I'm working, having to go downtown. So it's not an everyday thing, and it's not really affected the way I feel like I'm
Yes.
still interrupted and getting up and stuff. So, uh, the CBD, what it does is
Okay.
actually calms your brain down. You still wake up, but it keeps me, I'm not like going crazy. I don't know
Yeah.
about you, but I have a piece of paper by my bed. I wake up and start doing things and having an idea. So I'm fine with CBD. It just kind of calms you down. And then even if you're not sleeping, you'll meditate or something. So that's the good part. It is what it is, right?
Relaxing. Yeah. Well, I hear CBD. It has some scientific findings. It does help people with insomnia too. So
Yeah.
keep trying to do that, and whatever try to work. I mean, like I said, if I find some other things, or if I get a chance to talk to you about more suggestions, I definitely let you know about some other things. Because sometimes you gotta. For me, I have to speak to the person on one-on-one and get into what they're eating, or other things, because that can contribute to certain things too that could keep one person up as well. So there's, more to this story that I would like to, we could talk at another time. Let me ask you this question, but thank you for sharing that. And I hope, things change and we could talk more about that too. Let me ask you, is there a quote you live by that you don't mind sharing? That's something that you live by when you get up in the morning? This is what because we're about to run out of time. So is there a quote that you don't mind sharing with us that you live by?
Well, I always say we're here to make a difference, a positive difference. And like you're helping other people. And, it's always gratifying if you can assist. Like when I was teaching and I just was cleaning out some stuff and found all my students' notifications, which was lovely. So, you try to help other people and then you also get the strokes back.
That's wonderful. Thank you. I love that. Francis, you're an amazing person. Keep doing what you're doing. And you know what? Things will change on other things. And I appreciate you taking the time to be a guest on the Dr. Malika Clary show.
I appreciate the invitation and thank you so much for being in touch
And
again. Thank you.
oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Sorry with all the technical issues we've been having, but we'll get it together one day. You know what, fam? I'm so sorry with all the technical issues that we've been having on both sides. I believe it's her side, my side. When you're in different states or different countries or internet, I don't know what's going on. But sometimes things are better than usual and sometimes they're not. You know what? As I will say, and I'm going to keep on saying, people, keep on believing God is in power. I know it's hard because you're going through the midst of the storm and you're like, I just don't feel things like that. Don't lose faith. Don't. It will change. I know it will. I'm with you. Today I feel this way, tomorrow I might feel different. But I'm still gonna say, God, you're still in control. You're still in the business of healing. You're still in the business of watching and getting us through things that we think we can't get through. So don't forget about that. With that being said, thank you for tuning into the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show. Keep on tuning in and watching Three Corners Deception and Three Corners Deception 2 is in the making. Follow, follow, follow. And you see all my social medias. So still follow me. I'm still doing this thing. So thank you for all your support. And don't forget, we are everywhere globally, a lot of places. So I'm there. And if no one told you I love you today, I love you. Have a wonderful weekend and the rest of the day. May God bless you and take care of all of you.